All right, guys, welcome to the Give It Podcast. For blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, aka the Black Spartan. Rolling solo tonight, just because my co-host Joe Tonello is out there doing the Lord's work. Kind of jealous because he is more than likely probably watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So hopefully by next week he'll be able to give his impression upon that. But together we are the Give It Podcast, and much like the WWE of old, guys, we do try to watch our language, but words do fly. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown, especially trailers, that might be a little bit graphic for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, how do we begin this? Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to start with this because Gran Turismo. There's no really other way I can explain this. I mean, this is another video game adaptation that is being attempted into a movie. I got mixed feelings about this. Here's the trailer.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
Who do you think the best driver is?
Probably Rory.
I would dust him in a lap.
Jan.
All you do is play video games with some crazy dreams of racing cars.
Dad, you're the one that told us to always do something we love. You know what racing cars cost?
Look around.
It's not our world, son. What is this?
It's a contest. The best Gran Turismo players in the world get a chance to compete in professional racing.
Dude, this is real.
This is real.
I'm sorry. You really think you're going to take a kid who plays video games in their bedroom, you're going to strap him to a 200-mile-an-hour rocket? It'll tear him to pieces.
You can hate me now,
It's not going to work. The guys who race are elite athletes.
but I won't stop now.
Your kids are scrawny little gamer kids.
Well, that's where you come in.
Come on, let's go.
Cause I can't stop now.
Must be a new experience for you, moving your legs. You puked on my lawn.
There's no turning back now.
When you're in a race, the cockpit is going to be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The G-forces will be twice what an astronaut experiences upon liftoff. I can't see anything.
I won't stop now.
Hey, you get extra points for that in the game? Jesus Christ.
I had to hustle hard, never give up.
This whole thing is insane. But out of the couch surfing nerds that you sent me, he is the best one. You made it.
Yes!
Welcome to Team This End.
You can hate me now.
What's next?
It's major leagues. The other drivers
Are going to hate you.
Whoopsie.
Dude, what is your problem?
It's part of the game. It's called racing.
But I won't stop now.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
You can hate me now. But I won't stop now.
I know this track.
Because I can't stop now.
I've raced it 1,000 times. That's what I'm talking about.
You can hate me now. But I won't stop now.
Okay, so that was Gran Turismo. As you can see, guys, that has a August date of this year. Okay, so Joe, when we talked about this in our podcast, in our group chat, he called it the last car fighter, which again, I'm not mad about. That's by the way I can explain this. But to me, it's like I've seen this movie before. Of course, if you're the older generation, you know what I'm talking about. Days of Thunder, Driven. It has that feel to it. It's like, I get what they're trying to do. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that Gran Turismo won't be a bad movie. The video game adaptation, keep in mind, Gran Turismo is a driving simulator. It's actually one of the very first driving simulators that's been out on PlayStation since the introduction of the PS1. I get it. I understand it. The whole premise behind this, though, is actually about a competition, because a competition similar to this was actually done not too long. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. They tried the same thing in real life. So I'm not dissing the movie. I'm not. Will I probably go see it? More than likely. It's just that, as far as video game adaptations go, it doesn't really. How can I be so nice about this? It doesn't really pull me. It doesn't really pull me. Now, it can be me. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think about. But for me, watching that Gran Turismo trailer, it doesn't pull me. I'm just gonna put it that way. Does it keep me from not playing Gran Turismo? Absolutely not. Do I see this as a viable movie for Sony to make bank off of? It's a toss-up because let's be honest, not everybody at this point, especially for video games, is going to have the same fortune as Nintendo. What I mean by that is Super Mario Brothers movie has literally went over $1 billion at the global box office, becoming the 10th animated film of all time to achieve that goal. So it only took them, as you can see in the article, it only took Super Mario Bros. 26 days to cross $1 billion. And again, more than likely, I guess that'll change considering the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is out now. So we will be curious to see whether or not that Super Mario Brothers will still retain the top spot, although probably not considering how Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is out now. And of course, if you're going to go see the movie, kudos for you, but please do not spoil it for others. Just because the simple fact of the matter that everybody wants to see this movie. This is actually James Gunn's last MCU movie before taking on full-on duties as the co-CEO of DC Studios. So we are promised some tearjerkers. Again, if you're going to go see the movie, don't spoil it. It's okay to let us know if you liked or didn't like it, but just don't be like a bunch of people out here and spoil the movie because we all want to go see it. Life gets in the way. Let's just be honest about that. But going back to Gran Turismo, though, I'll still give it a fair shot, but I feel like I've seen this movie before, whether it's Days of Thunder, Driven, The Last Car Fighter, as Joe has called it. But I'm pretty sure Joe's going to give his opinions on that, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 when he's back on the show next week. Moving right along, guys. The next trailer I got is actually something I'm very happy about, just because if you've seen Black Dynamite, first and foremost, if you've ever seen Black Dynamite, you've seen that goes down as one of the top funniest black exploitation movies you can get up because it's basically a movie that makes fun of itself. Well, Michael Jai White, the star of Black Dynamite, has finally let us know of a movie that I know I've been watching for a long time, and I have just been waiting for it to finally be released. That they finally not only gave us a new trailer for it, but gave us a release date for The Outlaw Johnny Black. And if you haven't seen the trailer, here you go.
From the brothers who brought you Black Dynamite comes a brand new movie that's show out of sight. We've been gone for a while, but now we're back with a Western adventure. The Outlaw, Johnny Black. It's a rootin', tootin', six-gun shooting, romance, praise dance, cliff jumping, horse punching, card dealing, land stealing, unruly and truly groovy kind of movie. Put me down! He made Billy a key, took the eye from one-eyed Jack. He's a high plains drift. Ain't nobody swift than the Outlaw, Johnny Black. As faith-based Western black exploitation, kung fu action, romantic comedy dramas go, it's right up there with the rest of them.
And I am looking forward to it so freaking much. If you've never seen, like I said, if you've seen Black Dynamite, understand The Outlaw Johnny Black is basically the soul sequel to that, because I would say Black Dynamite should have got a sequel. I mean, if you haven't seen that in the animated series, which again, Carl Jones is a guy that I got to interview on Blurred's Eye View, which was really cool of him, but told us about this. Black Dynamite, by the way. But The Outlaw Johnny Black, definitely looking forward to that. That's actually coming out September of this year. And I, for one, cannot freaking wait for it. But anyway, other news, guys, that we have, because unless you've been under a rock, the Writers Guild of America, WGA, are on strike with Hollywood for writers not getting fair compensation for their work. And I couldn't blame them at all, because again, if you're a writer, or a screenwriter, or movie writer, or script writer, you are definitely not getting fair compensation, especially on the streaming and on the streaming and royalties, things of that nature, which a lot of those guys do not get and actually get paid. They're pretty much the essential workers of Hollywood, which is completely unfair considering the fact that so many TV shows, movies, and shows like Saturday Night Live depend on those writers. But with that strike going on, guys, surprisingly enough, it has not really affected the world of Disney as much as a lot of people think they would. For example, Marvel's Thunderbolts and Deadpool 3 will still keep filming. Even though the Writers Guild of America strike has been going on, Disney has let us know that Disney/Marvel has let us know that Deadpool 3 is expected to film later this month, as well as Marvel's Thunderbolts is still on track to be filmed as well. So it's amazing that they're kind of having a lot of faith that, number one, the writers strike will be resolved, which is, I guess, the reason why Disney is still moving forward with this, saying that, no matter what, we think that this is going to be wrapped. We think that this writer strike is going to be wrapped up, so there's no need to halt production on Deadpool 3 or Marvel's Thunderbolts. And that's the kind of faith that I'm like, you guys got a lot of faith, because the last strike that did happen, which I want to say was 15. I could be wrong on this. I want to say it was more than 10 or so years ago, because the only reason I remember 10 or so years ago, because it was a little show called Heroes that was on NBC that was a victim of the writer's strike back then. So yeah, almost about 10, 15 years ago, would be about right. But the reason why I say that is because the strike going on now, and that Marvel/Disney is still moving forward with Deadpool 3 and Thunderbolts. But surprisingly, in a twist, that the Marvel's Blade reboot has been put on pause because of the strike. So they have a lot of faith. So this is what I thought was crazy. So you'll continue with Deadpool 3. You'll continue with Marvel's Thunderbolts. But the Marvel's Blade reboot is currently on pause. Because it was supposed to be, because it was pushed back because of a crappy script, directors changing. It was supposed to start filming some point in June, a couple months from now. I'm sorry, a month from now. Actually, I said May, June. That's kind of terrible. I don't know my calendars. But because of the writer's strike, it is currently on pause for now. So that's the wild part. So that's the one thing I would get about Marvel/Disney, that you have faith. Let me get this straight. You have faith in the Thunderbolts and you have faith in Deadpool 3 moving forward, because you think the strike is going to be over by then. But at the same time, Marvel's Blade, which has been plagued by rewrites, reshoots, change of directors, and now the writer's strike is going on, you guys have just decided now that, we'll put a pin in that and get back to that. And don't get me wrong, I still want to see Marvel's Blade. I still want to see the Blade reboot. I still want to see Mahershala Ali really do his thing as the Daywalker. I still hope that Wesley Snipes either has some sort of input or cameo into it, because I think he definitely deserves that as the Godfather of the MCU. But it's wild that they're still moving forward on 2 movies and not 1. But speaking of Deadpool 3, we also did get some news that Sugar Bear, Rob Delaney, who actually plays the character Peter in Deadpool 2, has been confirmed to actually be back in Deadpool 3. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Deadpool 2, Rob Delaney's character Peter doesn't die in the second Deadpool as part of X-Force. Even though Deadpool kind of dismembers the X-Force after a bad helicopter landing on his part. So again, I see the comedy aspect of it. Peter was pretty funny, and especially how he got on the X-Force. So yeah, I got no issues with that, but I thought that was pretty funny. But other news, which I guess is odd. When I say odd, I mean, well, let me start with this one, because Mortal Kombat 2. We all remember Mortal Kombat from just, a year ago, where it had the Create Me character. They had the Create Me character on there and had nothing to do with Mortal Kombat whatsoever. It felt like someone just written him into the story. Well, we do know that Mortal Kombat 2 is in development. We hope the story is better than the first one. But we also know that Mortal Kombat 2 has found, or possibly found, as Johnny Cage. Carl Urban, the same guy from The Boys, the same guy from Dread, Red, The Bourne Supremacy. His list goes down. But anyway, Karl Urban is very close to playing Johnny Cage, one of the iconic characters from Mortal Kombat. When I first heard this, I was like, Karl Urban is Johnny Cage. You know, if I was like, it can work. I mean, really and truly, it could work. But for me, if I was doing it, I'd make him Kano. To me, Karl Urban feels more like a Kano than he does a Johnny Cage. I mean, because Kano, you think rough, you think diabolical, you think just ruthless. And I think Karl Urban can pull that off as a Kano character. Could he do it as Johnny Cage? I mean, the man's got range. He really does, because I still want a Dread sequel. But at first I was like, okay, I mean, he could do it. He could. It's not good. It's not bad, but it's in between. It's almost like, you know what it is? It's kind of like the first time we heard Heath Ledger was playing the Joker in the Batman series, in the Batman movie. So that's why I was wondering, like, okay, when I first heard Heath Ledger, the same guy from A Knight's Tale and 10 Things I Hate About You, is playing the Joker, I had my doubts until I saw that first trailer. I didn't see the same thing about Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson playing the Batman. I'm like, and then I saw the movie. And then I went on my Robert Pattinson apology tour. That I apologized to that man because the Matt Reeves Batman was good as well. And I thought he did an excellent job as Batman. So I could be wrong about this with Karl Urban being Johnny Cage. He might play it to a T. It might be great. But for the writers of Mortal Kombat 2, learn from the first writers of the first Mortal Kombat. Please do not put in a creative character and then try to make him the main focus of the character when you have all the fan favorites there, especially the two we always come to see. Like, let's be honest, we always come to see Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Sure, you can throw in Jax, you can throw in Smoke, you can throw in Noob Sabat, you can throw in Reptile, you can throw in Liu Kang, you can throw in Raiden, you can throw in Sonya Blade, you can throw in a lot of other fan favorites, but let's be honest, most of us just came to watch these two ninjas fight. That's it. Now, despite if you're Lin Kuei or Xiao Ryu, but still, don't make it about the creative character story. That's all I ask. That is really and truly all I ask. Please and thank you. But other movie news before we get to our next trailer. Again, I'm happy about this as well, but I'm also concerned. Dodgeball. If you don't remember Dodgeball, True Underdog story that had Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn in it. Again, and Rip Torn, which again, very, very, very funny movie. Did not, and of course, there was rumors of a sequel possibly coming out, just because Ben Stiller has been saying, well, we've been kind of toying with it, but we had to get Vince Vaughn on board, and Vince Vaughn said, well, only if a good script comes along that he'll consider coming back and doing a sequel. Well, they must have figured it out, because a Dodgeball sequel is in development with Vince Vaughn coming back. There's really not a lot to be said because, of course, the original was back in 2004. They haven't mentioned anything except that everybody, really at this point, they're trying to get everybody on board. Vince Vaughn says coming back. Ben Stiller said he may come back. Justin Long has said, quote unquote, that Ben Stiller's approval is the only thing stopping the sequel. And of course, Ben Stiller, for a guy who's actually had a lot of funny movies, and him coming back as Dwight Goodman, I can see that too. But again, as long as they follow the original formula of the first movie, I can get behind it. Just because if you haven't seen the original Dodgeball, you should. Again, it's a funny movie. I'm not against sequels. I just want to see what they do with it. That's just personally me. But again, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. But anyway, the other trailer we got, guys, because this actually came out as well. A lot of the old original 8-bit games are coming back. We first talked about Streets of Rage, which again, if you haven't played Streets of Rage for the Streets of Rage that came back, the rebooted one, again, that was great. Battletoads was a reboot. That also was great. I feel like I'm missing one other before I get to this one. But anyway, I'll get back to it. I was trying to think about Battletoads. I was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There we go. Teenage Mutant Turtles and the Shredder's Revenge. Completely forgot about that one as well. But anyway, a lot of these 8-bit games are coming back. Even more so that we are now actually getting another Double Dragon game.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up. Let's go! Can't touch me!
No escape! Strike! Take this! Finally!
My turn!
No escape!
My turn!
I'm ready. Watch your step. Freeze!
Stay there. Gotcha. Out of my way.
Here we go. Get over here.
Double Dragon Gaiden! Rise of the Dragons!
And I'm not mad about that. That was actually Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons. And again, if you are a fan of these 16-bit 2D side scrollers, this is definitely going to be for you. I know I'm definitely going to give it a chance once it comes out on Xbox One, Xbox Series X. More than likely, may be released on Game Pass as well, but we don't know about that yet. But that's just my guess as far as where, when, and where it will be released. But again, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think it's going to be worth playing. Almost every retro game that has come out hasn't been bad at all. Like I said, between Battletoads, between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, between Streets of Rage, and now Double Dragon, they see that. Like I said, there seems to be a note with all these nostalgia games coming out. As long as they're done right, they're definitely worth playing. But we will see when we get more news about when Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of Dragons will be coming out. Some other news, which again I'm not surprised about, but Destiny, specifically Destiny 2, has sat there and said that they'll be raising the prices of their season passes. Going forward, Bungie will ask Destiny players to play Destiny 2 players to pay more, at least 20% more each season. Which means if you do buy the season pass, if you buy them by the season instead of the annual pass, you may be paying anything more from $10 to $12 per season. And again, I don't get this. Now, again, I understand that Lightfall has recently come out. I haven't had a chance to play Lightfall. I'm actually looking forward to when I can actually do that. I've actually heard a lot of great things about Lightfall, that it did come out with content. But the problem that we're going to be running into is that Bungie kind of falls into this, how can I put this ever so nicely? Bungie kind of falls into this loop of rehashing loot, rehashing equipment, or being charged for it. Think like Call of Duty. If Call of Duty just wanted to just loot box you to death. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love Destiny. It's still one of my favorite MMOs to play. I still love the story behind it. I still love that they are, they're trying different things. But when you raise prices, especially on season passes, because of course you should be paid for your work. But when you start raising prices on your let me put it this way. When you start raising prices on your content, we expect new content. We don't expect rehashed skins, rehashed exotic weapons, rehashed armors, quests that give us the same things. If you're asking us for more on the income side, we do expect a lot more on the content side, which if you look at any board, if you look at any message board besides Bungie board, you will see that a lot of people kind of got spurned away from Destiny just because they kept basically charging you for rehashed stuff. Now, is it the same? Is it the same thing in Lightfall? Most people say yes. Some people say no. But I get it, because in the world of business and creative content, especially because video game companies, the price for everything goes up. But again, I feel like it's going to hit a ceiling somewhere. Now, don't get me wrong. As games prices get higher, I mean, we sat there and saw that, especially on the Nintendo side of things. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a $70 game. Unheard of, considering that most games have always fell in a $50 to $60 range, and that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to have a $70 price tag. I think it's just a sign of the times, but I think most game prices are going to hit ahead, because as much as we do gripe about paying $60 or $70 for a game, Nobody wants to pay 80. I keep saying that. I keep on saying that it will never get to 80, but we're currently at 60. And if we're at 60, then we're not too far off from hitting 70. And then so far and so forth, when you actually have different tiers of games, especially for pre-orders, hitting 90 to 100, sometimes $120. And I keep saying it's going to hit a ceiling somewhere. It has to. Because as gamers, yes, we love to play new games. Yes, we will always want new games. Do we want to pay almost $100 for a game? I'm going to be honest, it's not looking that way, especially in today's economy. But again, Bundy is making a small increase. I just hope that they're giving new content and not rehashing things. That's all I'm saying. Also, before we move on, guys, Free Comic Book Day, again, is coming up tomorrow, which means that mostly if you go to your local comic book store that's participating in Free Comic Book Day, just really quickly, they will have a certain selection of comics that are free to the public. I would say this just as a reminder, if you're going to Free Comic Book Day, first and foremost, please be kind, because everybody who's a comic book reader and knows about Free Comic Book Day will probably more than likely be going to the same comic book store as you, which means that the people working at the comic book stores may be a little bit overwhelmed, may be a little bit trying to accommodate everybody. So first and foremost, please be kind. Be kind and be patient, just because they're trying to help everybody on Free Comic Book Day. And also at the same time, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I gotta say it anyway. On Free Comic Book Day does not mean that every comic book in the store is free. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but I feel like I have to say that. For Free Comic Book Day, they will have a section for Free Comic Book Day. More than likely, they'll have a separated section to where Free Comic Book Day, whether Free Comic Book Day is, as well as all the comics lined up that are free. But please do not be that special person that decides to go into a comic store, think that you're going to get the newest issue of, let's just say, Spider-Man, and say, oh, even though they're not a part of Free Comic Book Day, don't be that special person. And like I said before, be kind and courteous to the comic book staff, because they're there to help you. And at the same, also, if you know individuals that are interested in comic books, this is a perfect time to take them to your local comic book store and actually get to enjoy Free Comic Book Day. But just keep those rules in mind. Aside from that, also, I can't believe I'm saying this as well, just because a lot of people are going to be in a certain area, hygiene is a beautiful tool, a beautiful protocol that we hope everybody uses, because let's be honest, if your ass is musty and you in closed off areas, we are all going to know. Aside from that, have fun. I plan to. But speaking of comic books, guys, on Free Comic Book Day, this one, Spider-Man 2, which again is the upcoming game that's going to basically follow Marvel Spider-Man from the original game that came out on PS4 not so long ago. There is going to be a Spider-Man 2 where it's going to have Peter and Miles Morales. However, before the game comes out, there will be a special comic that has the prequel to Spider-Man 2. Now, depending on where you are, this actually will be a part of Free Comic Book Day. Now, I will stress this very heavily. It will be a part of Free Comic Book Day. This may or may not mean that it's a free comic. Like I said, going back to the rules of what I just said, if it's a free comic, it'll be in that area. But again, a prequel is going to come out to explain the events between Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be available on Free Comic Book Day. But I just want to point that out because, again, depending, because for the simple fact of the matter, some people are going to be like, oh, well, it should be free because Will said something. Nope. Find out first, because aside from that, that comic book store may actually have it, or you can download it on the Marvel Unlimited app starting on the same day on May 6th, which is also Free Comic Book Day. So if it's not available at your local comic book store, if you have the Marvel Unlimited app, you can download the comic digitally and read it from there. So just saying, use your head, use hygiene, please be kind, because again, the folks that are working in these comic book stores look forward to Free Comic Book Day every year, and they're trying to spread some joy. Because who doesn't get happy reading a comic book? Again, be nice. Okay, so aside from that, guys, we are definitely going to get to our TV reviews of the week. I do need to start, of course, Superman and Lois. I will say this about Superman and Lois. really did like it. Really did like it. Have no issues with it, honestly. Because this was actually the first, it's a continuance, if you will, because what they're doing, this is the Bruno Mannheim inner gang angle, where, not to go too much into it, but did we just humanize Bruno Mannheim? Which, again, don't get me wrong, the actor that plays him, very well done. At the same time, it really did take the focus off really Superman being Superman in this episode. And that was fine, because you did really focus it around Bruno Mannheim and Automatopoeia and how they came to be. At the same time, Lois is still dealing with cancer. And of course, the family is just trying to find their place, dealing with the cancer and trying to make it through life. It was a very solid episode that, if you really think about it, didn't need Superman or villains. And that goes to tell you all, and that goes to show you how well the writing is on Superman and Lois, that you didn't actually have to have a bad guy of the week, or you didn't have to have Superman actually stepping in and really carrying the show. The writers and the showrunners behind the show have seemed to be doing a solid job of really keeping Superman and Lois alive, which makes me think that, beyond this season, I think I keep hoping they go to Max. I know I keep on wanting to say HBO Max, but it's Max now, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, I hope they go to Max, because, again, this is great storytelling. I love what they've done with this episode. And again, F cancer, just leave it at that. But again, I just thought that Superman and Lois was really well done this week. What hasn't been done well this week? Look, there's no other way I could say this, okay? So I guess I gotta go into it. There's really no other way I could say this about The Flash. We are now, after this episode, there's three more. There's three more, because what they try to do in this episode was and again, I guess, I don't mean to spoil it, but I'm just gonna, they rehashed an old storyline. I mean, how many ways? And I say this to the showrunner, Eric Wallace, who also directed this episode. He also is the showrunner. But how many more ways can The Flash rehash same old stories? Which we did in this one, because we literally went back to Reverse Flash again. We went back to Barry going back in time and causing a Flashpoint paradox again. We went back to where now, I guess, the negative Speed Force has its avatar now. And again, here's my thing. And here's the thing about The Flash. When The Flash, from seasons, let's just say 1 through 4, seasons 1 through 4 of The Flash were very well written. The storyline made sense all the way to the season finale. After 4, things just stopped making sense. And even now we're in season 9, the whole idea of him being pulled back only to stop Reverse Flash from doing what he wanted to do during Flashpoint Paradox, in which, because Flash was literally in 3 different places along the same timeline, how does this not cause problems? And again, it didn't make any sense. It really didn't. I mean, for him to go back in time before technically he was the Flash, and to see Joe as a police officer and not as a detective, I get what is trying to be done, but at the same time, I'd say it's the showrunner. It's just like it's all over the place. There's no buildup. There's no connectivity. There's no harmony as far as how this episode's going. It's just fast forwarded, and I'm sorry, it just does not do well. And again, I'm not trying to knock The Flash. I really am not. I am actually a Flash fan, but at the same time, it just doesn't jive well. And you can tell that within the story. It really doesn't. But again, 3 more episodes of The Flash, guys. So yeah, bound to be fun. But anyway, usually that's really all the news that we have. So we do have a couple of comic book pulls. Like I said before, just a couple, because usually it's been a weird day in the world of comic books. But I got to point these 2 out just because, one, I know it's going to be generic, but they're my go-tos right now, especially in Dawn of DC. I am talking about Superman, Dawn of DC, Adventure Superman, John Kent. This is issue number 3. Again, they are kind of following the Injustice saga. Now, if you know what Injustice is, you know what I'm getting at. As far as the story being goes, except it's being seen from John Kent's side. Not to go into it again, highly recommended just because, again, Injustice Saga. If you haven't read it, you absolutely should. And if you know what Injustice is, it gives a different viewpoint on John's side of things, considering the fact that when we saw Injustice, it was really Kara. But again, I thought it was great. Not really going into it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but highly would recommend it. Now the other one I do have that Joe actually did recommend, and I wholeheartedly recommend this as well. Batman. I know I'm a Batman fan. Forgive me, I am a little bit impartial. But Batman, this is a legacy issue. Legacy 900, issue 135. Again, this is the continuation of Batman taking on the Red Mask. Red Mask basically being if Joker tried, the Red Mask is basically Joker in another alternate universe. That being said, I am not going to go into this because number one, the writing on this by Chip Zdarsky, it just seems to be gold for DC right now. But if you haven't read 135 of Batman, I highly, 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 highly recommend you should, because I am not going to spoil anything except read it all the way to the end. Just because of the detail, the connections, and how it just tied everything with a nice little pretty bow at the end. I'm just going to leave it at that, because anything I say beyond that point pretty much spoils it. So I'm going to leave it at that. But those are 2 comic book pulls that we have this week. Like I said before, highly recommend both of those things, just because highly recommend both those issues, especially the Batman one, because you will not be disappointed. Aside from that, like I said before, with our comic book pulls, guys, we always want to show some love, especially to Rick's Comic Book City. As you can see there, that's actually their website at rickscomiccity.com. They actually have 2 locations, one in Nashville and one in Clarksville. You can definitely check them out. They have been voted Nashville's #1 place for comic books. You can also go to their website and you can actually buy comic books, do trades, covers, do comic book pulls directly from the websites, or you can go in their stores. Either one works, but definitely check them out if you are in the Middle Tennessee area. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries, because they still carry the most up-to-date comics, mangas, multimedia things for your viewing and reading pleasure. And like I said, they can only survive based on your support. So definitely go out there, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, check out Rick's Comic Book City tomorrow, since tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day. So why not definitely get to know your local comic book store, pick up some free comics, meet some new people. At the same time, let's all share our love for comic books. But also, hygiene, especially important. Hit that deodorant, hit that toothbrush. That's all I'm saying. But like I said before, that's really going to do it for tonight, guys. I know we didn't have a lot. I do apologize. Of course, my co-host will be right back with us next week. More than likely letting us know of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and his impressions, as well as more comic book news, of course, well as more comic book news and other things that may happen during the week. But with that being said, I do some shameless plugging like I always do. I do want to first shout out to my boy Vaughn at BigBZA on all social media. You can definitely check him out at his YouTube page where he has music for free. So you can definitely basically share his music. At the same time, he will not do copyright strikes like some people do on YouTube. But he will not copyright strike you. And if you are some music that you are interested in purchase from him, definitely check him out, BigBZA on all social media. As for myself, guys, you can find me, Blackbox447, also on all social media. I usually do reviews on everything that I read, that I play, that I see, even gym stuff, because I try to do a couple push-ups. Also, the link at the bottom, I made that just a wee bit bigger for you guys to see. You copy and paste that link into your browser, taking my link to this YouTube and Facebook groups for all my podcasts. How the Frank Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, the Offense Podcast. So if you like, share, subscribe. At the same time, guys, let me know of everything that you thought, your opinions, I should say, on everything that we discussed tonight. You know, whether you agree or disagree, we want to keep that conversation going, but you can definitely do that there. Also, guys, I almost completely forgot. I also do write as well. Like I said before, writing things also on the Blurred's Eye View website with our another friend Chris Fury. So definitely check out Blurred's Eye View. Check out Room Full of Birds. Room Full of Blurs. Check out Mayhem Media. Again, I am all for the sharing of other blurs who are also doing the same in the same profession I am. I always want to share love and share and promote because they do the same thing for me. Oh, let me also not forget, because Joe would literally disown me if I didn't. Yes, thanks to Joe, Get Bit Podcast is now available on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, especially Apple Podcasts, and especially thanks to Amron, as of today, will also be on Opulence Radio. We will get a lot of banners that fix this, so that way you guys know, because you can hear us just more on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can hear us on almost everything that has a podcast now. So again, trying to expand, trying to make it bigger, trying to, be more than what we are, more than meets the eye. Shout out Transformers. But with that being said, guys, hopefully next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, my co-host will be back to basically give us his impression on that, as well as other news that we got going on in the comic book world / video game / anime / manga, because trust me, a lot's going on and we will do our best to cover it. But take care of yourselves and each other, guys, and we will all get through this. Thank you all for watching. Be safe, look out for each other, and party on, dudes. Peace.